you feel daring? Click subscribe, turn on notification bells, and you will not be haunted for the rest of your life.
Many of you have seen the worldwide hit known as The Conjuring, but did you know that it is in fact based on a true story about the family and the Warrens? Today we are going to take a look at what happened to the Perron family. Carolyn and Roger Perron, together with their 5 daughters, moved into the house during the 1970s and almost immediately reported a small yet inexplicable events within the home. Carolyn claimed to have noticed how a broom would move from place to place and then just disappear altogether. Then she took notice of small pieces of dirt in the centre of where she just swept and cleaned in the kitchen. The children also said that the witnessed spirits, at first most of them were pretty harmless. Then the family said they began to experience horrendous smells that stank of rotting flesh. They said the beds shook at around 5:15 each morning, and Roger would enter the basement and feel a cold, stinking presence behind him. The family typically stayed away from the dirt-floored cellar, but the heating equipment would often mysteriously fail, causing Roger to go down into the cellar. The main spirit, as shown in The Conjuring, is called Bathsheba, and was allegedly every bit as angry and horrible in real life as she was in the movie. That's according to the Perrons. Objects were randomly launched across rooms, smashing into walls. Doors were slammed and even glass was shattered. But one night, as Carolyn was sitting in the living room, she felt a piercing pain in her leg. Looking down, she said she saw blood trickling from a small open wound on her leg. Turns out a woman named Bathsheba Sherman had actually lived on the Perrons' property in the mid-1800s. Rumour has it that she practised witchcraft, and there was some evidence of her involvement in a local infant's death. Many believe that Bathsheba killed the child in a satanic ritual with a large sewing needle to the brain, but she was never convicted of the crime. When Bathsheba died, she was buried not that far from the Conjuring House. At some point, 2 paranormal experts were called in, and if you've watched this channel before, then I have mentioned them. These experts are Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, Ed and Lorraine Warren went to investigate the farmhouse and to hopefully eradicate the evil spirits that lived inside this house. The couple, which are probably the most well-known paranormal detectives in history, reported that they have investigated over 10,000 cases. Lorraine Warren, who claimed to be a clairvoyant, held a seance at the farmhouse. The goal was to make contact with the spirits that were tormenting the family. In the middle of the seance, Carolyn seemed to become possessed, speaking in tongues, raising chairs, and everything was floating in the air. The oldest daughter, Andrea, watched in secret and would later describe the incident.
"I thought I was going to pass out,"
she said.
"My mother began to speak a language not of this world, and it was in a voice that was not her own. Her chair levitated and she was thrown across the room."
After the seance, Carolyn seemed to return to normal, and Roger told the Warrens to leave. According to Andrea, the family actually stayed in the house until 1980, when they could finally afford a new home. And when they left, they said the spirit stopped contacting them, and their family was finally at peace. So what's the next chapter for the Conjuring House? Well, as for those who do want to go there, it's not always for reasons you'd expect. As is the case with the Heinzens. We immediately fell in love with it, Corey Heinzen said. 8.5 acres, a river in the back, and a pond. It's so serene down there. Never mind the story behind the house. It's a beautiful home. It's even harder to understand how they can disregard the home's past when they've reportedly experienced such strange incidents for themselves. Footsteps, knocks, they've had lights flashing in rooms, and when they say lights flashing in rooms, it's rooms that don't have a light in there to begin with. We've had a few moments in here that have made us jump a bit as well, he adds. We've had doors open on their own, footsteps, disembodied voices, electronic voice phenomenon, and some pretty awesome spirit box sessions, he added. However, the Heisens have big plans for the farmhouse. They want to repair it and preserve it. Perhaps shoot a documentary and open it up to paranormal tours. Now, the big question is, would I go? The answer is yes. Yes, I would. Because I'm weird and the history interests me so much. And the fact that the Warrens went there is making me considering to do Warren videos, like Warren cases. Maybe that's something for the future. Oh, thank God. You made it to the end of the video. Good job. Now, while you're here, why not drop down in the description and you can take yourself over to the merch page. Yep, here they are, 1 and 2. I have a new t-shirt and I have stickers as well.